Hi, I'm Beth Alcazar, and today on Pacifiers and Peacemakers, we're going to talk about how to be as smooth as peanut butter. So I am a self-proclaimed word nerd. I love words, I love communication, I love writing and speaking, and I love the power that words have. And what's interesting, there is one word out there right now that we use a lot when we're training, and that word is squeeze. That's right, when we're talking about manipulating the trigger, a lot of times we talk about squeezing the trigger. Unfortunately, this is not the best term to use. And my friend and mentor, George Harris, co-founder of Sig Sauer Academy, is the one that initially brought this to my attention. Think about it. If you're going to squeeze something, that usually involves using your entire hand. Think about those stress balls or other things. You squeeze with every single finger, joint, muscle, right? What would happen if you were squeezing the trigger? That could actually be a problem. In fact, I'm probably one of the worst when it comes to squeezing the trigger. As we know, the way that our bodies and fingers and hands are made, when one finger does something, the rest of them would like to reciprocate. They would like to do the same thing. So we've got to get this idea of squeeze out of our heads. Instead, we're going to talk about pressing the trigger or pulling the trigger or manipulating the trigger. In fact, one of the best things you can do to get squeeze out of your mind is to practice isolating your trigger finger. Which means, think about, you're going to look silly, but it's okay. Think about one finger only moving independently from all the rest. You can actually practice this. Again, you'll look like a crazy person out in the middle of the grocery store, but it works. Isolate your trigger finger. Another way that you can actually see if you're doing this properly, take your other hand and place it inside your hand. And again, manipulate only the trigger finger by itself. If you feel any squeezing on your other hand, you might be doing it wrong. And think about it. What happens if that whole hand squeezes when you have your good grip and you're pressing that trigger? It's going to pull your shots off target. Something else I like to think about, and this is from one of the best in the industry, Julie Golub. You've probably heard her name before. But she describes the isolating the trigger finger movement as being very smooth and very controlled, as if you're dragging that finger right through some creamy peanut butter. Of course, every time I say that, all I want to do is eat a Reese's peanut butter cup. But I'm hoping that it helps you remember. Isolate the trigger finger, don't squeeze, and make it as smooth and creamy as that peanut butter. For more great tips and training information, please join us on the USCCA Women's Community. Until then, stay safe and be well armed.